Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and I'm just sitting here in my robe drinking my morning coffee looking sexy as hell as usual. And for those of you who say I don't look sexy as hell when I do these videos in my robe, nobody cares what you think. I didn't ask you shit. Alright guys, I came across something that my bro Steve Shaw had wrote about. I'm not going to screenshot all of it. I just want to clarify the misunderstanding there, because I don't want there to be any drama between Steve and I. Steve and I are friends. We get along. And the thing is, if Steve felt this way, there's probably a lot of other people who felt this way too. I had made statements about guys who just go in on a body part split and lift for an hour and a half a day aren't athletes for purposes of muscle rehydration and muscle glycogen replenishment. And Steve got offended because he felt like I was saying he's not an athlete. Some other strength athletes chimed in and they felt the same way. A bunch of people were upset over on a forum. And guys, let's make this clear because I don't want people to misunderstand what I'm saying. It's one thing when it's a bunch of trolls. It's another thing when it's serious lifters. When I am talking about serious muscle rehydration, glycogen loss of electrolytes in your muscle tissue, yeah, you guys don't count as athletes for those purposes. You don't need specialized things to replenish yourself. Most of you guys doing that, if you go drink some water, get enough hydration, eat a meal, and you're not training again for another 24 hours, it is not going to affect your performance. It's not going to affect you in any way. You don't need to worry about maximum muscle rehydration. I was talking about the combination of glucose-based, fast-absorbing glucose-based rehydration drinks with electrolytes in them. We're talking about true replenishment drinks. Weightlifting in general, even for an hour, doesn't burn through enough muscle glycogen, and it doesn't dehydrate muscle tissue enough for this to be a major concern if you're only training one time a day. When I'm talking about athletes, I'm talking about people who train in either extreme endurance events or people who train multiple times a day with very high intensity. So it's not saying you guys are not athletes. It's saying that when it comes to glycogen replenishment and muscle rehydration combined together, those major factors for serious competitive athletes in many endeavors, an NFL player, a triathlete, someone like that, yeah, that's a big deal. For someone who's lifting for an hour, 5 days a week, it's not. You're going to replenish your muscle glycogen and you're going to replenish your muscle rehydration just with your normal diet enough so that you're going to be okay. Just get a meal after you train. For some of these people who are doing 2 hours of conditioning work first thing in the morning, and then they're going to go lift weights for an hour later that day, and then maybe have another practice several hours later after that, it's a big deal, particularly if they're doing that conditioning workout in the heat and they're doing 2 hours of GPP workout in the heat, and then they're going to go do an hour of lifting later, and then more practice. That's like 3 training sessions a day. They're going to sweat a huge amount. They're going to burn through a huge amount of glycogen. Those people who are at a serious competitive level, it could make a 1% difference or even a 3% difference in their overall performance during different phases of their training if they don't get adequate rehydration of the muscle tissue. So when I say things like that, guys, I am talking about the needs of multi-phase athletes whose life revolves around training for a sport. It's not the same thing as recreational athletes who train for an hour a day or people who weightlift and stuff. I'm not saying weightlifting isn't demanding, but when we're talking for purposes of certain key nutritional points for people who are at a very serious competitive level like the NFL or a triathlete, their nutritional needs are very different. You can't lump them into the same category because guys who are lifting weights, you're just not going to have the same needs as these individuals do. It's not going to affect your long-term performance the same way. It isn't as big of a deal for you guys to immediately get a massive surge of glucose with salts in it right after each training session to get you ready for the next training session in a few hours. A lot of you guys are training and then you're waiting 24 hours to train again, and you're only training an hour and a half a day. It's just not the same thing. So there's no need to be offended. People just need to accept that their individual nutrition needs are actually different based upon what sort of sport they compete in. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. If you guys enjoyed this video or you enjoy my work in general, please remember to click like down below. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and please share my videos with your friends and family. So I hope this has been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.